He started with 5, so I needed to go on -3. Yeah. And I really want that, so apparently I got it.
Well,
so
apparently my rolls
if I have time
true,
this run, I will learn it.
Normally it's the opposite. When I GM, my rolls are awesome, and when I Bulldog, my rolls are crap. So.
Okay, and I
What do you mean? Your rolls were the best last night.
What is failing? You remember my strength checks?
You can tie multiple spells to one limited thing, right?
As per my understanding, you can.
Okay, then. So that's a thing. Ceramic knives. I need to buy knives now.
Are there rules for ceramic knives in the book?
I think you just count them as.
They're just knives that don't. They're just knives that don't show up on MAD scanners, which isn't a big deal. I mean, you can buy ceramic knives right now. Not even all that difficulty, so whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with it. I just didn't know if there were specific rules for them, like how a lot of guns have specific, non-MAD scanner rules.
Yeah. Well, the idea is that I want him to start flinging knives at people.
Mm-hmm.
So, ceramic knives. Bring them anywhere. So they're 4R base. A normal knife, throwing knife, is 4R base. I don't know if what you would do for the ceramic stuff. I know that that's.
We're gonna say ceramic's a little harder to find, so I'm gonna make them 5R if that's kosher. And I got 2 successes.
They're not actually in the book, is a thing, but it's something that they talk about throwback.
Yeah.
Like cold forged knives and stuff. It's not actually deep.
Well, you can buy ceramic knives today, so I assume 60, 70 years from now you can still buy ceramic knives.
Yeah, so I will buy a dozen of these.
I gotta ask, is anybody Hispanic, character-wise? I don't give a shit who you are in real life. Are there any Hispanic characters?
I don't care if I offend you in real life. I just don't want to offend your fake internet persona.
Oh no, he wants to offend your fake internet persona.
Yeah, because Suede is racist against Hispanics. So I just want to make sure I'm not playing like buddy buddies. If in reality he'd probably be extremely apathetic.
Last thing I need to pick up is some high explosive grenades if possible.
Yep, what's the availability on them?
I think it's either 10 or 12 or 14. I will look quick.
Okie dokie.
11.
So what does that mean when you tie? It's what takes double the time?
I think everyone seems to have their different interpretation. The way Greg did it last one was I could grease the wheels to get it right now. I could, which was 10% more. I could wait till the end of the run.
I like that. I like the grease the wheels to get it right now. 10% more. You can pick them up at the end. I really like that. I'm going to steal that. So your choice on which one.
I will do that.
No problem loading more pages.
I'm going to trust everybody not to metagame the fixer comments. Just keep in mind what your fixer rating is, and you have that information. Knight started that, and I really like that. From the original posting, if you didn't see it, it just tells you more information based on your fixer's either loyalty or connection. Or both, if you have 3 in both.
So, I'd like to try to get some APDS.
Okie dokie, what's the availability?
12?
Oh, my rolls are picking up. As you notice, the more I roll, the better it's getting. The table knows I'm a GM now.
Alright, I'm back.
Damn. Alright, how about some XX, which is 14F?
Yep, see, every roll, the successes are getting higher.
Oh, Jesus.
Nope.
Is it too late to bail?
Alright, it's okay. I'll carry you all on my amazing magical skills by being probably the 3rd worst mage on the net, and the other 2 are Magic 4. I'm saying worse. I don't know. They just have Magic 4. Whatever. Geek's pretty bad.
Okay.
Because
everybody here, or are we missing somebody? I'm assuming the silence means everybody's here. Couple table rules. Rule of cool is in effect. Assume competence is in effect unless I tell you otherwise. If I say I am not assuming your competence, I expect you to tell me every detail that your character would do to not get fucked in that situation.
Or to get fucked. I mean, it's...
Whatever, I mean, however it floats your boat. As far as combat goes, please try to not talk when it's not your turn. Use the sidebar type, DNI, whatever. And when it gets to your turn, please have a good idea of what you want to do or any specific rules that you need looked up. Have a page reference so we can get to those quickly, especially with 5 players. I don't want to take an hour per combat pass. So that should help make it relatively easy. The last thing is, if you don't agree with the ruling I make, speak to me afterwards. Don't argue right then unless it is vital to your character. Like if you say I'm making a called shot and I say something stupid like, okay, that's a minus 30 dice penalty. Yes, argue it right there, but pick your battles. If I just say, well, it's a minus 5 because you don't have the page reference and I don't want to take the time to look it up right now, just go with the minus 5 and after combat, or after the game, mention it. But if it is vital to your character, I do urge you to prove me wrong, because when I make a ruling, it's not to screw the players, it's to keep the game moving. So if it is very vital, because I don't know every rule in the book, please educate me. I think that should be about it for my pregame ramble there. Anybody have any questions, concerns, qualms before we dive into it?
Nope, should be good.
Okie dokie then. You all have gotten the message from your fixer, your relative fixer there, where there's a job that's out in the Barrens. There's a new drug coming out, and someone with some pull wants either the chemist, and I need to append this a little bit, they either want the chemist or the formula, preferably both, but there will be a bonus if you can bring the chemist that developed the formula as well. Other than that, if your loyalty is greater than 3 with your fixer, he did some digging, and the mob is the one that's behind the run. If your connection is 3 or higher, your fixer has done a little more digging, and he tells you that this drug would be worth a lot on the street. It's something that is going to be really, really popular. After you all accept the job, you are sent to Touristville in Redmond, where you're going to be at the Barrens Bar in the Barrens, because it's so witty and clever. So, because I know a lot of GMs start with, you getting the call from the fixer, but I like to do that pregame, so it's mostly about when you arrive at the bar. Is there anybody that would specifically, their character would arrive early, and how early?
Vex would be making sure that his driver gets him there 5 minutes early.
Okie dokie, so Vex is there 5 minutes early. Anybody wanting to get there earlier than 5 minutes early?
Yes, I'll get there about 15 minutes early, because I will aim for 15 minutes early, because I have my mode of transportation is a motorcycle, and with Seattle weather you can never account for time, so you need to give yourself a little extra time to get there.
When you say motorcycle, do you mean a scoot?
I was actually wrong about it being a scoot. It is actually a Yamaha Growler.
Yes,
Okay.
Another Growler.
My apologies.
Suede's gonna have to take a Johnny Cab.
Okie dokie. About what time are you aiming to get there?
Yeah, on
How
time.
About on time for the meet?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a 5-minute early, about on time, and a 15-minute early. Anybody else aiming to get there within those time slots or earlier?
What time was the meet scheduled for?
We will say the meet is scheduled for 7 p.m. The sun will go down at 6:45.
Okay, well that is very fortunate in that case. I'll probably try to travel through the sewers as soon as I get the call.
Okie
Just
dokie.
moving through the underground as much as possible during the daytime. Is there any role you'd like me to do?
Yeah, give me an
Is it
edge.
on foot?
Give me an edge roll since you're on the foot in the sewers, and we're just gonna see, how much muck you get on you. 1 success. All right, you pick up a little shit on your shoes, but you manage not to fall in or have a drainage. What do they call it? Where they flush the pipes. So you manage
That
to
would
avoid
suck.
that. But your shoes are pretty bad by the time that you reach street level. And about how early do you want to get there? You could leave the sewers as early as about 6:45, 6:50 because of the sundown.
Well, what he's going to do is he's going to try to just get out of the sewers, find the nearest manhole cover, a sort of quiet area that he can, and then he's going to start cleaning his shoes.
Okay, so you're gonna get there
And consider that there's quite possible that I should be buying boots for this and have my shoes in a separate bag.
That would be a good idea. Yeah, buy some galoshes. I just now love the image of a vampire roaming the sewers in big old yellow galoshes. Um,
It got really quiet.
I had to read. We'll do the intro. I was just trying to figure out the order everybody
Sure.
gets to the bar.
Yep. It was just as a
so-
reminder. I didn't want to break the flow.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. So, all right. So, anybody wanting to get there earlier than 15 minutes early, so we can actually start getting into that.
No, Crash Card would show up probably 2 or 3 minutes early.
Okay.
But that's about it.
So at 15 minutes early, and I am terrible with names, so I'm gonna have to ask because the voices and all that. Who was it that was at 15 minutes early? Was that Suede?
That was Geek the
That
Mage.
was Geek the Mage. Okay, you get there about 15 minutes early. It is a rundown bar in Touristville, but it looks like it's specifically made to look rundown, like it's supposed to give the real Barons experience. And it's actually relatively upscale, especially for Touristville. You know, it's a family bar and grill. Like, think if you were going to like a Denny's or a Bennigan's or something along those lines. But it's made to look like it's out in the Barrens as the experience.
Hold on. Phone's ringing. I'll be right back. Just a second.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.
Banana phone.
Everybody loves a banana phone.
Sorry, every time I run a game and somebody has to answer the phone, I try and do that the whole time that they're gone, especially if they leave their headsets on. I got a whole group to do it once. It was fucking amazing.
Well, if you want, you can continue to do that, but I'm not going to join in.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
No
Thanks for
problem,
calling.
bud. It happens.
We did it in real life at one point, like at one of my home games. And somebody actually answered the phone at the table, and I just started doing it, and eventually the whole table joined in. And he's like, "I'm gonna have to call you back because I'm playing with assholes right now."
Your table's much nicer than mine. When somebody answers their phone at the table, whoever has the loudest iPad or iPhone just starts playing porn.
Fantastic. I would have to remember that.
I play with a bunch of dicks though, so.
That's awesome.
So you get to the Barons Bar out in Touristville in Redmond Barons. I'm assuming you're going inside, Geek?
Yes.
You go inside, and like I said, it's got like a Denny's or Bennigan's atmosphere. The server comes up and says, "How can I help you?"
Oh, Is there anyone here expecting someone for business?
Well, not yet, but we do have the back room is reserved for Miss Johnson here in about 15 minutes or so.
Yes. I believe I am here for that.
Would you like to wait at the bar for the rest of your party to arrive?
I suppose I've got nothing better to do. I might as well.
Okie dokie. And she shows you over to the bar. Anything specific you want to do, or are you just going to get a drink and wait for the others?
Just going to get a drink and wait for the others.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give a character description so everybody knows what you look like and the viewers on Sarge's stream do as you get a drink from the bar.
Alright, Geek is a relatively short and somewhat skinny human with dark hair, currently wearing pretty much a turtleneck sweater with a an armor jacket over it. If you were to take off the turtleneck sweater, you would see that he has a tattoo of. Let me link what the tattoo looks like. That, due to strange astral circumstances, but he also at first glance he does not look like a mage because unlike other mages, he has a quite obvious data jack and others. I think that's the only real visible augmentation. But he does have a data jack, unlike most mages. Also, he is a pretentious asshole, but that's neither here nor there.
Okie dokie, so you're doing that. Who said they were getting there about 5 minutes early? Because I'm assuming everybody else is on time aside from Knight. He's going to be a couple minutes late because he's cleaning his boots.
That was Vex.
Mr. Vex, you pull up outside. And I'll let you describe that because I believe you've got a chauffeur, so I'll let you do your little character intro now before we get into the bar.
Yes, Vex himself does not drive, but he does have a driver who takes care of that for him. It's I believe SK Bentley Concordant. I don't really keep up with these things. I just keep them up. Now, he does arrive, and he's a southern gentleman who keeps himself clean-shaven and in the nice, finest whites. Today, though, given that it is Easter Sunday, he will be wearing a pastel, using the electrochromatic modification to allow that to happen. Today, it's a vibrant green day, so he's going to be wearing a nice pastel green suit into the location.
Okie dokie. Do you go into the bar once you get out? Do you wave your driver home?
Yeah. Well, he does wait around, and he's told if everything checks out to just circle the block and or at the very least keep the engine running in the parking lot in case something were to go awry.
All right. So your driver, you said his name was Clarence, right?
Clarence, yes, Clarence.
Very good, sir. I'll drive around the block a little and keep the car warm for you.
Clarence, that accent does not befit you.
I don't know Clarence's accent. Now he's British. I'm sorry.
No, that was just me being a dick. I do apologize.
I
thought it was
sorry, Master
funny.
Vex.
Turns out I was right.
I can attempt some city slang if you would prefer. Direct it all.
You know, Clarence, sometimes the radio is a better choice, don't you think? And he'll kind of raise the little divider.
Very good, sir.
Wow.
And Clarence does his little drive around Touristville while waiting for you.
Out of character, I do hope that was not too dickish. I do apologize if I went too far.
That was amazing.
I love to do like little accents and stuff, so I was trying not to step on your character's NPC with Clarence there, but I felt he needed to be British.
It works. I just anyway. So Vex will walk inside, and when he does walk inside, he'll ask for. I believe there's a meeting going on, possibly, and he rolls his eyes as he says it. Johnson is probably the name, and he kind of wipes his little bit of his right eyebrow with his right ring finger.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bubbly orc hostess that's up there, young like teenage orc girl. She says, "Oh yeah, I haven't heard an accent like that since I was back home in Savannah. Do you come from around there?"
Ma'am, I come and go as I please. I do not try and put myself in a specific location at any time. I find it beneath me.
Okay, I understand that. I apologize. It's been so long since I've heard that familiar twang. But yes, there is a party happening in about 5 minutes or so. One of them is waiting at the bar, and she kind of points over to Geek. You're more than welcome to join them, or wait at the bar yourself, and we'll let you know when your party is here.
Just take me to the back room now, miss. That's probably for the best.
Well, okay. I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh no, I'm sure you won't, and I'm sure this will help. And he'll slip her 50 million.
Oh well, yes, sir. Right away. I can take you back there right now. Would you like me to get your friend to the bar, or do you want them to wait?
No. He seems to be well into his drinks, and I'd hate to interrupt such a intimate affair.
Oh, of course. And she escorts you back to a back private room. It looks like a private, not quite a banquet room, but there is a single large table in the middle. There is an open bar on one side and a buffet on the other. The buffet is stocked currently.
Okay. Vex will just sit down at the head of the table.
Okie dokie.
Oh, but all that alcohol and food, are you sure you don't want to indulge?
Oh, no, I will. I didn't have the tab open. Gosh. Already jumping on me. I see how it is. I see how it be.
I love you.
I love you. Where did it go? My beautiful macros. So, while I'm doing that, I think you can go on to the next person because this should.
Yep, I'll go on to the others, and we'll get to what you're indulging in when everybody else enters the room. So, between Crash Cart and Suede, I want you both to roll me 1d6 to see who actually gets there first or how close you are apart. This is going to be minutes, since you both were arriving about on time. If I'm correct. If I'm not correct, please correct me. Okay, so Suede. No, that's Vex's roll. Sorry.
And turrets? Damn it. Fuck you, fingers!
So you guys actually get there at the same time, so if you're familiar with each other, that's fine. If not, I go by the rule that Shadowrunners can clearly identify themselves as other Shadowrunners. Now, you might not know who they are, but you can look at somebody and say, that's a Shadowrunner. You might not know who they are, you might not know what they do, but you can kind of give them at a glance that that's another runner.
Okay. You want to go first?
You go first.
All right. Well, Suede is a very, very large, almost 8-foot tall troll. He looks a little somber, but there's very much anger lines all over his face. He's currently smoking a cigar. There's only 3 horns on one side of his head. The rest of it is covered by very short brown hair. He's wearing a very impressive red pinstripe suit with a nice tie and very nice polished shoes to match, and just seems to look around the entire place with disdain.
A man after my own heart.
Jesus, I think Crash Cart's gonna be the only not asshole on this run.
Well, Suede is generally an asshole to begin with. He
Well, no, that's what I mean. I mean, everybody else so far has been an asshole.
Wait, no.
Crash Cart isn't.
Albert, I don't understand. I just went, and you said everyone's been an asshole. So I'm confused. Really confused right now.
I think it's been pretty clear. I'm just gonna. Oh, this is gonna be a great run.
Just Vex will summon a spirit of boot on your ass.
He's gonna look around and wait for the waitress to either recognize him or say something.
Okay. Crash Cart, you walk in at the same time, so if you want to go ahead and give your little character intro here, the hostess is going to approach you both at the same time. So,
let's see. Crash Cart is about a normal-sized human. Brown hair, brown eyes, fairly pale skin. Not exactly physically robust. She's more thin and a little bit clumsy also. She's going to be wearing a dark suit. I guess that's about all.
okie dokie. So the waitress comes up to you. It's a teenage orc girl, as I've already said.
Mm-hmm.
How can I help you all today? Are you here for the party? I think we already have some of your fans here.
Yeah, if it's a party for Johnson,
Yes, Miss Johnson did schedule the back room again tonight.
you take us back there.
I sure can. Would you like to collect your friend at the bar first? And she points to Geek the Mage.
Yeah, I don't know who you're calling a friend, but
Well, I assumed you were all friendly with the party in the bag. Maybe you're just acquaintances, business or otherwise.
he can stay there.
All right. Well, we'll collect him as soon as the Johnson gets here. Then.
May I roll perception and notice the runners running to the back room?
Yeah, I'll give you a perception for that.
All right. Do I
Yep.
notice?
It's pretty easy. You can tell two runners just walked in and are getting escorted back. You didn't really notice Vex because that was just right when he had first got there. You were getting your drink at that time, so your back was to the door.
To be also, Suede has distinctive style, so any type of perception checks to spot him are a lot easier, significantly easier.
I guess what, -2 or -5 or something like that.
Something like that.
Two or 5 points. Anyway, it's easier.
Yeah, it's not very often you see a troll in a very nice suit.
Yeah, especially with only half his horns.
Yeah.
So I'll see you all walking back there, and I'm not feeling sociable, so I'll just stay at the bar.
Okay.
After all that.
After all that.
Well, he knows you're here now. That sometimes knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
G.I. Joe.
So the hostess, yes, thank you. The hostess walks you back to the back room. And you will see Vex, and if Vex wants to quickly tell us what he was doing, because I believe there was something back there about indulging himself.
Oh, that was just DV being a dick. But now Suede will have to do the same thing.
Yep.
As there's booze and other indulgences for Vex to partake in, he felt a tingling in what some might think is the back part of their brain, but he knows to be the integral part of his soul, as a mistress of sorts starts tugging at him and pulling him closer to the alcohol. And just as he's licking his lips and about to make a poor decision, he kind of is able to steel himself and make his way just back to the table. And he'll pull out, to kind of calm himself down, a deck of cards and start shuffling.
Okay, so that's what you guys walk into, is him having just sat down, and he pulls out the deck of cards.
Well, when Crash Cart walks in and sees Vex, she's gonna be like, "Made any bear friends lately, Vex?"
I barely know what you're talking about. Now, please, sit down.
You gonna do your card trick again?
I might do one of the tricks that you saw. It'll, depending on how nice you are, depends on which one it is.
Uh-huh.
So is there anything specific, or are you guys just in the room commiserating and waiting, or possibly not commiserating and waiting for
Oh, sorry. I had posted up. Apparently, it didn't go through. That Suede's going to pour himself a drink from the bar. Like, I'm not even going to bother with composure check. I'll just drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's the open bar is there. It's not like high level, high expensive top shelf stuff, but it's pretty good middle of the shelf liquor. And there is an open buffet there with your standard buffet fare. There's salad, there's chicken, there's beef, there's pork. Did anybody else get that on Roll20 where your connection to the server has been interrupted?
Yep, mine did too. You
I
might
was
have
honestly,
to. Wisconsin, you're probably going to have to refresh.
Yep, I'll give it a refresh, see if that fixes it.
I'm glad that others got it, only because I'm just so used to my internet going out, and that's my first sign. It's like,
Because
well,
as soon as you mentioned you sent something, I went to check because that part of the screen was covered by a message. But we'll see.
yeah.
Might just be Roll20. It's sitting at loading 0, right?
Yep. That's what it's doing for me too. Looks like they hit a hiccup.
Yeah, but either way, we can continue, at least for now. So that's all of you. About 5 minutes after night is, you're going to be walking up, and it happens as you walk up. You see a very nice car pull up in front of the establishment. 2 humans in black suits with ties get out, followed by a young lady. Very professionally dressed, obviously a Johnstonette look from your Shadowrunning experience, and they walk into the bar about the time that you're turning the corner.
Okay, well, there was one thing I needed to do beforehand, which is I needed to see if I could disguise myself, just if that's okay, but I can't roll right now.
What are you using for your character? Does it have an auto roller built in? Because I'll trust you.
Okay, because I have 2 rolls I need to do.
Okay.
One would be that roll, the other would be a sensing roll, because he's always doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Never not a sensing.
So let's find the
He actually can't physically not be a sensing.
yeah. So how I generally treat that is I won't always ask what he's seeing, but I might ask redactedly if it becomes relevant.
Okay.
Just to prevent me from rolling a million dice all the time. So I got 5 hits on the disguise.
Okay.
And then the sensing, I got 6 hits.
Oh, that's right. A sensing is a separate check. Crap.
Mm-hmm.
Separate skill. Fuck. Okay.
Oh.
Well, for him,
back
it's
up.
kind of
Yep. Looks
interchangeable
like it
with
just came back
perception.
up.
But would you like me to re-roll those?
No, I'll trust your rolls on them. Just remember the disguise is 5 hits, so they have to beat that on their perception or something to see through your disguise.
Yeah.
I think I'm not 100%
He's
sure.
not
how that
trying
works.
to disguise what he looks like in a traditional sense, like changes what it looks like. He's trying to disguise the nature of his disease.
Okay, so he's like putting on some blush and rouge and making himself look like he's living.
Yeah, like Knight is he's an average height human. looks vaguely German, perhaps with a bit of Spanish ancestry, and his eyes are like a sort of pale red, but under the right accoutrement, it would look more brown. And he's a little bit gaunt in his features, like his cheeks sit out a little bit, and his suit is rumpled generally. He wears a tie, but it's not pressed or very well straightened, and his outfits kind of look like they're almost a little bit big on him, like he's lost a little bit of weight recently. And he moves very quickly and has a tendency to kind of stare at things very directly.
Alrighty. So like I said, as you're turning the corner, after you get your disguise on, you do see this. With your sensing, you would be able to tell the Johnson nor her 2 bodyguards are magically active. They're mundane. I'll just give that to you because that's a pretty easy one to tell off the bat with the sensing. You managed to clean most of the shit off your shoes, but there's still a little, so you are going to have like a -1 die to your social tests until you can like really clean them. If anybody stepped in, dog shit, this is worse. But you did get most of it off, so it's not near that bad.
Okay. When I'm looking at them, one other question I'd have is, do they have any augmentations that I should be aware of?
The 2 bodyguards are heavily augmented. If you want to take the time, we can go through, but it looks like they are extremely heavily cybered. She's very lightly cybered. Looks like, mostly like maybe a data jack or data lock or something like that. A little bit of headwear, very little bit of body wear, but not much at all.
Okay, so they're street sand level, would you say?
From your guesstimation, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of follow in behind quietly.
Okie dokie.
And try not to pay too much attention to her. But this is obviously the woman I'm here to meet.
Mm-hmm. As you walk in, her and her 2 bodyguards are being led back to the back room by the hostess, who gives you a wave over the shoulder and says, I'll be with you in just a moment, honey. And Geek, you do see them walk in, the same description that I gave tonight, and you see them head back to the back.
Well, time to start heading that way. I'll get up, finish my drink, my non-alcoholic beverage, and start walking over there.
Okie dokie. So you follow them all into the back. I will get to you in just a second, Knight, because they're going to enter the room before the hostess gets to you. I'll let you know when you enter the room, but we'll go ahead and do the bit with the hostess for you now, so I can just say you enter the room when we get to that. So a few minutes after leading them back, and she sees Geek and motions him inside as his party is here, the hostess comes up to you, a bubbly orc girl, and says, "Welcome to Baron's Bar. How can I help you today?"
This is me again, yes?
Yes.
Okay, he's just going to stare at her for a second, a little bit, I guess, disconcerted, like he doesn't quite know what to say. I have a meeting back there.
Oh, you're here for the party? Okay. Yes, it's just right this way. Boy, you really should get some meat on them bones. It looks like you haven't eaten a dog's year.
I assure you I ate just before I came here. If you wouldn't mind, please.
Oh, of course, right this way. And she leads you back. For everybody else, the Johnson walks in, flanked by 2 big burly humans in nice crisp suits. She reeks of Johnson, very corporate looking, and has an expression on her face that says, "I'm here to do business," plain and simple. She looks at you all and says, "I'm glad you've already arrived. We'll wait for the rest of your companions." At this point, Geek walks in. She looks over her shoulder and says, "There's one. I believe there's one more. Help yourself to the drink and the food. As soon as everybody's here, we'll begin with the proceedings." And she goes to sit at the table.
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. Alright. And Geek just sort of walks over to the bar, gets a sandwich and a drink, and just starts, it's a free meal. Can't exactly turn that down.
This is true.
I'm actually going to roll an etiquette check real quick, if I could. Let's see. So authoritative tone, would that come into play with it?
Depends on what you're trying to do with the etiquette check. Normally, for me, I normally call for those if you've screwed something up to fix it over. But if you're doing it preemptively to make like a good impression, I need you to let me know what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. In this particular case, I'm just trying to get in my head what the tone of this meeting is going to be, like how to react to her appropriately before I start even talking at this point.
I'll give you 1 dice from authoritative tone because you're not trying to use your own authoritative tone. You're trying to interpret hers.
Okay.
And Vex is going to do effectively the opposite. He doesn't know what this woman is trying to get done here, and he also doesn't really care too much. He's going to continue to do his thing. So when she enters the room, he stands. Wow.
Sorry.
Well,
Damn
I
it.
mean,
56 hits. You know
2, 3, 4.
everything about authoritative tones.
I'm just going to go
5
home,
hits.
guys. You don't need me.
5 hits. Okay, I'll get to you in just a second.
Has Geek run with Vex before? I don't think so, but has he?
No, Vex doesn't really get the pleasure of running with many other mages, typically.
Alright. It was King he rolled with, that's right.
Yeah, sorry you got interrupted there, Vex. What were you doing with your etiquette?
I wasn't actually... if you want me to roll etiquette, I shall. I was just giving the tone that Vex is setting. So
Okay.
he's very much acting like the southern gentleman. When she came into the room, he stands up, and he stood up, rather, offered to pull out her chair for her, all that sort of stuff.
Okay, yeah. She looks at you, kind of, it looks almost like appreciative or this is nice. And at the same time, her bodyguards move to the other side of the chair, and you get the impression that this is their job. But, you know, they're kind of happy. It's more of those, like, you didn't insult us, but thank you, you're done now.
Gentlemen, I did not mean to press into what is clearly your business here. I just was trying to be amenable to the situation.
You'll have to excuse them. They get a bit overprotective of their mistress.
It's better than underprotective, am I right? And he kind of
Most
in with her.
definitely.
Oh my god. All right.
And at this point, Knight walks into the room.
Yeah, he's just gonna slink in. What's the table made out of?
Standard, I would say wood modern day, but it's probably not. It's some synthetic material that's cheap to produce. Sturdy, but cheap. So like synth plastic or something.
Well, in that case, he'll just pull up a chair and take a seat and not say anything.
Okay. The hostess looks from the door, looks at the Johnson and says, "Ma'am, can we get you anything else tonight? Are you fine?" She just kind of gives her a look of "how dare you" and says, "We'll be okay for the evening. Thank you." And the hostess quickly closes the door and scurries down the hallway. The Johnson looks at you all and says, "If you would like to get a drink or some food before we begin, I suggest you do it now. I don't want to have to wait as you get refreshments during the meeting. So if anybody that hasn't wants to, now's your opportunity."
Crash Cart will pass on that.
That is ever so kind of.
Suede's already got his whiskey sour and kind of holds it up as a salute and just continues saying nothing.
I approve of whiskey sour. It's what I'm drinking myself.
I greatly appreciate the fact that you are providing refreshments to us. It makes the meet a little more relaxing, if you will.
Yes, I found that folk of your profession are more at ease once they've had a drink or a full stomach. It's also a tax write-off, so.
Vex will kind of laugh at that and he'll just say, "I think I know that loophole. 2682, am I right?"
Yes, we write it off as a business expense. You would not believe how much we save. You runners generally can eat and drink your fill.
Now, I have knowledge accounting. Can I find out if I do believe how much?
It's a
I'll be quiet.
sizable amount. It's not
I'll be
really
quiet now.
not really pertinent, but yes, it's a very sizable amount. You imagine that the spread here is probably around 200 to 300 million. So you know that much of a write-off every week, every couple of days, however often a job comes up, adds up very quickly.
Indeed.
Once everybody's seating, she pulls out a couple of dossiers, hands everybody one, and keeps one for herself. The job is simple. There's a new drug being developed in the Barrens by a chemist. We don't have his name. We do have the location of his drug lab. We want the formula, plain and simple. If you can bring us the chemist, there will be a bonus. But the formula is the utmost importance. My employer wants to be the only one producing this drug.
Is this an independent organization, or is this headed by somebody?
The chemist is backed by a rival, but that is not pertinent to the job.
This type of information is generally pertinent in our line of work. That way we know who we're pissing off and who we might be able to salvage contacts with.
Unfortunately, my employer did not give me that information, as it's not pertinent for me to set up this meet and this job. So, if you wish to pursue that on your own, I can't stop you, but was not specifically supplied.
I see. That does create a bit of a wrinkle, and I'm sure you understand why and how that does create that for us.
Understandable. If you have qualms, we are more than happy to take care of them. If you'll look at Appendix B on page 3, subsection 4, there is the compensation payout that we are offering for this job. And as you look, let me do some quick GMP math. The base pay is going to be 12,000 New Yen each. Is what that they have there.
Okay. Do we... sorry. Do we know where this place is? Or where the chemist is?
Yes, if you look on page 2, subparagraph 3, line 4, that's the address of his lab. And there's an address that's out in the Barrens.
Okay. Do we have any type of estimated forces or anything like that there? Guards?
We do believe there are several guards on the premises. I don't believe for professionals of your caliber they should prove too much of a problem as long as they are taken care of quickly before they can call in reinforcements. My employer's information has shown that there's somewhere between 6 to 10 guards in total, not at the same time.
Okay.
I see.
Now, what organization exactly is this person? Does this person work for?
As I said, that information was not supplied to me. All I know is that they are backed by a rival of my employer.
All right, that is exceptionally useful information. I greatly appreciate that.
So,
well, I
Suede,
see.
go ahead.
I insist.
Okay. Suede's going to lean back in his chair for a minute and kind of wrap his expansive palms across his stomach, almost imitating Vex's position, and goes, "So what's the mob want with a set of drugs like this?"
Well, my employer wants to be the only provider of this drug. They want to have a monopoly on it, so to say. She does look a bit flustered when you mention the mob, but she never mentions it specifically.
Good. Fluster Johnson's a Johnson that will pay more to have us shut up. Let's see. Vex, you got anything? Anybody got anything?
Now, it's been a while since I played the board game myself, but the last time I checked, when one does have a monopoly, it pays a little bit more than 12,000 for 4 people. And he'll kind of stare at her.
Well, there are 5 of you.
Well,
My apologies.
providing such a valuable business asset to your employer has got to be worth a little bit something more than that.
I do have some discretionary expenses that could be paid out. What is your what more are you asking? And at this point, I would like you guys to make a negotiation or teamwork negotiation test if other people want to join in on the negotiations, such as Suede and Vex have been doing.
Vex will kind of see that Suede is a man who likes to be the alpha, and as a consequence, he's going to take a little bit of backseat to let him shine. And so he's just going to kind of basically do all of the layup work for Suede in this conversation, if that's all right by Suede.
That's fine by me.
Let the big man do the talking.
So we'll basically do that as a standard teamwork test. So Suede will be the team leader. Vex is assisting in the team. Who else is going to join in with negotiation if your character would, say, put their 2 cents in, even if it's something along the lines of, there's with this number of guards and yada, yada, yada. It is a negotiation skill test, though. I just don't want to leave anybody else out if they want to help.
Yeah. Stupid son of a bitch.
That's fine. You got 2 for assisting. That means what is it? Swade loses 1 dice, but he gains 1 for every success you have. I think is how the teamwork test basically works. -1 die for every person in the team, but +1 for every success they get. If I'm not correct.
I think it's just plus for every success. But then again, it's been a while since I looked at it.
I thought you lost 1 dice for each team member, but then you gained 1. So if one
No,
team member gets 1 success, it balances.
Think so.
I think you only lose dice if the teamwork person
Tell you what.
glitches.
no, that's
Everyone
fine, that's
continue. Yeah, everyone continue to work on that, and I'll pull up the PDF.
I was
Thank
just
you.
looking.
Balance
Oh,
things out.
this is the Dresden Files. I don't think this is going to help us at all.
I thought there was something about that because for every success that your team member gets, you get like 1 extra dice, and the limit increases, which is the important part.
Mhm.
But did anybody other than Vex wish to assist with the negotiations? Like I said, you can throw in your character's 2 cents here if you want to, and RP your help, and then you roll. If nobody wants to, that's fine. You don't have to.
I'm currently typing away on my brand new shiny cyber deck, about to do something else that I will roll up.
Well, even if it's something that your character could do to help with the negotiation, like if you're a decker, maybe you wanted to do a quick matrix search to see if you could find out more that might make the job seem more dangerous, kind of deal.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Okay, well, why don't
actually.
you go ahead and give me a matrix search?
I would actually like to roll knowledge, chemistry, pharmaceuticals to find out more about this street drug.
Okie dokie. Okay, so I was wrong about the lowering of dice. I must have been reading on something else. So thank you for checking that.
No
Probably
problem.
inside the test.
Catalyst
probably
be crazy, yo.
So that's fine. So far you got 2 successes. So your limit is increased by 1 for 1 other person helping, and you get 2 extra dice so far. But we'll go through with it what everybody else wants to contribute and see there. So I'm not very savvy on the matrix rules. Matrix perception 4, that is what you get to ask like 4 questions or something.
That's a matrix search, which would be however
that's what
much
I meant the search. Perception is actually to see it, and there's no icons relevant to this to see. So sorry if I confused you there.
4 hits is however much information you think I could get with 4 hits.
Okay.
That's up to you.
There is a copy of the a list of the effects, but not the exact chemical code in the dossier. And you go through, you find out that with 4 successes, the location that this lab is at is actually owned by the Yakuza. And it's been rented out for the past couple of years. There's a list of like expenses and whatnot, and it looks like you kind of get the feeling that there's something to do with like daycare here as well, because there's like lists for toys and children's supplies. Not much, but enough that it kind of raises an eyebrow.
This appears to be a combination. I'm going to lean over and show my cyber deck to Sway. It's like, this appears to be a some sort of combination daycare Yakuza facility, which does add some interesting questions to the goings-ons of this job.
A daycare? Really?
Well, they do order a lot of children's toys. There are other things that could be, but I don't quite want to think about them at the moment.
In Crash Cart, you were rolling your chemistry knowledge, right?
Yep.
Okay. From the description of the side effects, because they don't actually have the compound here, otherwise they wouldn't need you, but they do have like in this dossier that she gave you, there is lists of like side effects, people that they found with this drug. I don't know all the medical jargon, but it's in there. With your 7 successes, your character knows the medical jargon, and it seems to be a extremely addictive substance that is I'm trying to think how I want to word this. extremely addictive and almost like a BTL in chemical form kind of thing. It looks like it puts the person into an unconscious state, and then it is a highly addictive substance in and of itself.
Interesting. So, yeah, this is going to be a big moneymaker for them.
Okay. And do you?
Could I take a look at the Johnson and get an idea of what they're holding back?
You can give me a judge intentions, yeah.
Can I sense first
Sure.
and then
It does
judge?
give-
Try to work off based on what I sense.
And
Okay.
we'll say, because that does take 30 minutes to get more than 3 hits, that Geek has been doing this the whole time you guys are talking, because there's some dead space in here. Of
course.
So, there's some pleasantries she lets you guys eat and all this before she starts in. So we'll say you've had that 30 minutes to do your matrix search there.
So
And
the
if you
first one
need-
was the Ascents and the second was the Judge.
Okay, on 5 Sensing, what table is that page on?
Oh,
just
no,
so I can
3.
pull it up?
3 and then 5. 3 on Sensing. 3 is Essence count, wear count, and general emotional state.
I'm sorry, what page did you say it was on?
It's easier to
pull
find in the
for
back
you.
of the book at like what was it, like
474 or 477? I'm not sure which.
Okay. I think it's 474. Let me check that. Oh, I love when my PDF just randomly kicks me back 14 pages.
There we go, 476, the Sensing table. And you said you had 3 hits?
Yeah. Yes.
She does have some AlphaWare head implants, a few AlphaWare body implants, but not too much. Her essence is probably around 4, no low, somewhere between 3 and 4. I don't exactly have stats for the Johnson, so no magic rating,
No.
no maladies or toxins in her subject, no astral signatures, presence on her, and her emotional state right now is pretty neutral. It looks very, very controlled, like she's a control freak. So her general mood is she's frustrated, in a sense, but extremely in control of that. The frustration doesn't look to be towards the runners in front of her, just a general frustration.
Okay. And then I got 5 on the Judge.
Alrighty, 5 judge intentions. She's being very straightforward and honest with you. Everything that she said is more, within the confines. She might know more, but you have a low chance of getting that out of her. From your judge intention, she's very business, letter of the law. A plus B equals C, and her general attitude that you're getting is very corp-like. Like she will follow the letter of the law. Period. As far as her contracts, not necessarily the law itself.
So it's just a pro Johnson. It's not necessarily
Yes.
someone that would really. She's just doing her job and telling us
Right.
what we know, compartmentalizing.
Right. She's not trying to specifically hide anything other than, as I said, the frustration when, that's actually separate, but the annoyance when the mob was mentioned. You get the impression that she knew that, but was ordered not to say anything. It's in part of her contract not to say anything. If you follow the drift with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over at Suede and just say, it would be my understanding that the individual we're dealing with might be withholding information because she has to.
Well, we're all bound in different ways and shapes, and some are more pleasant than others. I think we've gotten ourselves a bit off track, and we should probably just relax a little bit and bring things back down to a more pleasant and genial mood, or congenial mood, rather.
As long as I get the information and don't get shot because of lack of thereof, it ain't too much of a problem for me.
Now, I believe what my big teddy bear friend over here is trying to get at is he's just concerned.
Oh boy. Okay.
Before we get into that, I do want to go back because this was all about the negotiation test. I just wanted to give everybody a chance to contribute. So we'll make the negotiation test, and then the teddy bear comment will come up. All right. I don't want to take that out, but I do want to finish the negotiation test that we started first. All right.
Okay.
So that little conversation that just happened will be after you give your counter offer before she answers. All right. So negotiation text Vex, you had 2 successes. I'm going to give you 1 success for geeks, matrix search information, and 1 success for knights sensing, and then also 1 success for crash cart. So that means that your limit is going to be increased by 1 for Vex helping, and you're going to have 5 bonus dice on your negotiation test.
Okay. Well, considering my actual negotiation is only 1 rank, I can only take 1 of those dice.
Yep. Well, you can only take 1 from the assist. The other is additional information that I'm giving to you because they're not directly assisting you. If you follow.
Okay.
So you'll have a
Situational
total
modifiers.
of 4. Yeah, situational modifiers from the information you've been given from your team.
Okay. So an extra 4 dice. Okay.
Yep. And limit increased by 1.
All right. So my social is already 10, so we're 11.
So you got 6 successes.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a table that says what you roll a negotiation against. Here we go. Negotiation is against her negotiation and charisma.
Here's the best part about being an NPC. As the GM, you can choose other things to substitute in negotiation, I believe. Things that you think fit better for that subject.
You can. So let's see. I'm going to give her a dice pool of about 9, considering everything. And we'll see what she gets. She got 2, so that's going to be 4 net successes. So after a bit of haggling, you guys settle on an extra 1,000 nuyen each.
Not bad.
Is what she's authorized to disperse, with an additional up to 2,000 extra nuyen if the job is done exceedingly well.
Okay.
So 1,000 nuyen each is going to be the base, and then up to 2,000 additional if the job goes exceedingly well.
Excellent. Okay. Now back to the possible fist-to-face moment.
Oh, it won't come to that. Don't you
Possibly
worry.
not. But Suede is very, very quickly going to lean forward and get... you can tell his wrinkles got up from that. You want to try that again?
Well, sir, I'm not even certain what I tried the first time. Although I am no better than to double dip in any situation. It's rather rude, I think. Wouldn't you agree? And he'll kind of raise an eyebrow at him.
There's a couple things that are pretty rude right now, and double dipping's going to be the least of them.
Oh, I'm sure. Big scary man such as yourself, I know
So, Mrs. Johnson, I have a question.
Yes.
Geek is pretty much ignoring the kerfuffle occurring. Do you have a name for this chemist that we are supposed to be obtaining for you?
We don't have his name, but there is a picture of him in the file.
Ah, that would be most excellent. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to go back to I'm going to start doing a search on the dude.
Okie dokie. The picture is of a man of obvious Asian descent. He looks kind of small. Let me see. I know kind of how I want this to look, so I will pull up a picture in just a moment, but everybody else can continue.
I think I'm gonna also do some digging on this picture.
Okay, so
Well,
while
we
the
can count my two
nerds
misses
while the nerds are engrossed in that, Vex is just gonna keep the Johnson preoccupied in case they come up with something that we need to talk about.
So yeah, consider my 2 hits an assist for you then.
All right. Let's see. Search is computer plus intuition. So
And there's the picture. Just because it's funny.
I think I know exactly what this is already. Yep. Called it.
The only difference is he's wearing glasses.
Oh, what a nerd! What kind of nerd wears glasses?
And a white lab coat. He looks like a scientist kind of guy.
Okay.
As I adjust my glasses.
Yeah, right. Nerd.
All right.
And that was for Matrix search?
Yeah, matrix search on the picture to see if we can come up with a name for this guy. Any pertinent information?
You do get a name. The name isn't really relevant. I don't have a name for the NPC, but the characters do have a name. So just you can call him the chemist, and we'll say you guys know the name, or I can find a random name generator, whatever floats your boat.
That's fine.
His name is Kevin Ist.
Yes, Kevin Ist. That's his name. Kevin Ist, the chemist. You do with that many searches, it's going to take you an hour to get all the information. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now, though. Just remember that your character is busy for an hour. You can do minor things, but no other tests if you follow me, because you're doing your Matrix thing.
Technically speaking, I'm not doing anything. My agent is.
Okay, well, then you will have this information in an hour. He was married at one point. There is a death certificate for his wife, a birth certificate for a daughter. He was living in Southern California, working as a chemist down there. It looks like something went bad with an extraction where he was being extracted from the corp he worked for, and his wife was killed. But that's about what you that's about what you find. So you'll have all that information in an hour game time. Is there anything else that you all are doing at the meet? The Johnson's kind of waiting for you guys to officially accept it. Calmly, politely, her hands are steepled in front of her over the dossier.
Vex will look around to see that everyone is mostly fine with the situation, with the obvious exclusions that may have been caused by other social interactions, and he'll just... Is she within? He'd have to reach across the table to reach her, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Vex will then just put his hands on his knees and he'll say, "Well, I do suppose that given the way that my colleagues have responded, that this works out quite well." And he'll get up to walk over to her and kind of shake her hand to make it official.
As you move to get up and walk to her, one of the bodyguards kind of steps between you. Then she motions him back, takes your hand, and follows suit around the table to shake everybody's hand.
Yeah, mine would probably go up to about her forearm, but yeah, he's going to shake.
Mm-hmm. As you'll just turn to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I suppose we should, I suppose I'm willing to do this for you. May Dog help us all.
How are we getting in contact with you once the job is done, or where do we drop off the chemist?
There will be a dead drop call. You can call me, and there will be somebody there to meet you to take the formula, preferably the chemist and the formula. But remember, the formula is the most important part of this. We can always replicate it without the chemist. It would just be a lot easier with the chemist. At that, she pulls a meta link from her pocket. It has a pre-programmed number on it. That's the only one that will work, and offers it to the group, whoever takes it.
Vex will take it, I suppose.
The last thing I need you to do is, if you'll flip to the back page of the dossier, there is a contract concerning payment information where funds will be deposited when they'll be released from escrow. If you could simply make your mark on them for my records. It's a very standard contract. It looks like it's mostly just her record keeping, so she knows which runners she's run with, what runners she can trust, who's fucked up a job, who's done really well, things along that nature.
Yes.
Don't worry, this is only kept in a paper record off the Matrix. There is no notice for this. It's just my personal logs.
Instead of writing my name, can I draw a picture of a dog? Because I'm not going to leave my real name.
It's more like make your mark. Like if you have a calling card, a symbol, a whatever, how you're identified. It doesn't have to be your name. It's not anything connected to your sim. You could write John Doe, but that's how she's going to know you, is as John Doe.
I'm going to draw a paw print and put a G in the middle.
Okay.
I'm just gonna draw a little circle with 3 triangles off of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Vex, for those of you who are just listening and are not able to look at the screen, I didn't want to interrupt when other people were describing there, so I brought it down. For Vex, he'll just reach into his right breast pocket and he will pull out a small bottle of cologne, and he'll just turn to the very last page, and he'll lightly kind of perfume the last page with a few sprays, and he'll just make a very light and delicate X, close up the page, and hand it back to her.
Okay.
So
And,
she wants me to make a mark in a paper book.
Yep.
Okay, is there a pen nearby?
Yeah. Well, sorry, it's electronic paper. We'll say that, but it's
Okay,
it's a offline medium, so it can't be accessed from the Matrix. That's what I was trying to get across.
Yeah. So he's just gonna scrawl a large K on the paper when handed to him.
Okay.
He'll just kind of get you with that.
Yeah. It wasn't attempting.
No, it's come
to
up.
be
It's
that,
come
yeah.
up before. I just levitate pens or magic finger pens. You get
Such
it?
an arrogant move, by the way.
It is, but his face is downcast
So she
while he
collects.
does it.
She only collects
Like
the
he's
last
embarrassed.
page of the
Not
dossier
embarrassed,
from
but-
everybody, so you guys have the rest of the dossier to keep for yourself. She puts them in a folder, and then you notice that it looks like it's a heat seal, and it seals the folder, so it's protected from the elements and everything. Puts it back in her bag, stands up, and says, "Unless you have any last-minute questions for me, I'll be leaving for my evening's entertainment."
Oh, don't worry.
No,
I
I
think
would hate to keep you from being so entertained. So,
Have fun with whatever it is you're doing.
don't worry. I think Dr. Beauregard and the gang can take care of this for you.
All right, I look
Ma,
forward
you
to.
choose peculiar nicknames for yourself.
I look forward to hearing from you when the job's done. If something happens to the Metalink or you get no answer, you can find me at Dante's. I will see you later.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course. We should be seeing you later.
And she heads off for her date with Raj.
Wait, what?
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 This is Raj's dominatrix.
I'm sorry. Who?
What?
The character
I'm
Raj.
just gonna blink a couple
What
times.
list?
That's out of character knowledge, not in character, but yes.
I have no
Raj-
idea who Raj is. So
Oh, it's one of Radcount's characters. On my other run, he got her information to help him better be at social skills without knowing she's a dominatrix. So
gotcha. Okay.
I mean,
just a little
suddenly this
Shadowland
sounds
joke.
interesting.
All right. So first step would probably be to go scope the place out, or to find out as much information about this dude as we can, which Geek is already doing, right?
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
Geek is mostly Crash Cart's doing it. Geek's just helping a bit.
Gotcha.
Vex, when we all start to clamber outside of the restaurant, Clarence will be pulling up approximately at the same time, and Vex will open the door and offer a ride to anyone who would care to join me in this vehicular transport. It's rather spacious, bigger than you'd expect it to be.
Will it fit? Will it fit Suede? That's the big question.
Suede will fit. It is designed, as you will see, while the driver is not a troll, he himself is an orc who likes to live comfortably. So, and as a consequence, it is designed for the larger metahumans.
Gotcha. Suede will nod politely and very pointedly not put out his cigar as he walks in.
And so, if you need another, there's one in that tray over there.
Much appreciated.
Give me a minute to clean up, and then I'll accept that offer.
Absolutely. Take your time, good sir. Take your time.
Would there be room for me as well? I can always send my other transport back.
Please, the more the merrier.
And I apologize, I forgot to move the players to the Baron's Bar and Grill sign that I had, so I'll do that now so you can see it. I forgot about that.
It's quite all right.
Alright. So I'm going to tell my bite to head home, and then I'm going to step in the car.
Okie dokie.
Crash Cart's gonna decline because she wants to stay with her gear.
We're all DNI'd though, right? I assume.
Yeah, I
Yes.
assumed you guys linked up.
Okay.
Geek did present a invitation earlier.
I did not see that.
I think I was the
I
only
saw
one
it,
who
I'm
replied
sorry.
to it.
I think it was around the time Roll20 was crashing.
Yep. I did see it. I just didn't get to respond to it. So.
It's fine.
fair enough. Everybody can be linked up. Assumed competence and all that.
Okay. Well, while we're all doing that, then I think Suede's gonna take charge. And sorry, his voice is hard on my throat sometimes.
Gotcha. It's cool. It's cool.
So so we have to get this guy and the formula on a place where we don't know who's in charge of it, besides possibly the Yakuza. So ideas? How are we doing this?
Well, one option is always just go in and blast everything open until we find our man. That's not an option I would like to do, but it is an option.
I find that making plans this early in the process is only setting ourselves up for failure. Why don't we check out what's going on, then make educated decisions from there?
More what I meant. What kind of holes can we fill in this? I'm not comfortable with how much we don't know about this location.
Yeah, I'm working on that. If you'll give me a little bit, I'm gonna find out what we can about the chemist, which should give us a little bit more information on.
Now, did you describe yourself as geek over there before?
That is a name that has stuck with me. Yes.
I believe you and I have conversed a couple times on the Jack Point, as they call it.
No doubt, no doubt. I have seen people having discussions with me, mostly rather antagonistic ones, in regards to my name. But
oh, so you would say that Geek took a peek? Suede's gonna have a deadly serious look on his face as he looks at you. That's the question.
Oh, Suede, you are such a witty person. I greatly appreciate all of those kind words you're currently giving me.
Now, calm down, little chickadees. Let's be civil.
Hammerhead Knight's just gonna start laughing a little bit to himself as he gets the joke.
I was so excited when Hammerhead made a surprise appearance. I'm like, guys, don't say anything.
No, if it was Hammerhead, he'd be ripping into him hard. Knight's he's just gonna quietly chuckle to himself.
I do need to ask
but
one thing.
Perhaps a little too audibly.
Vex, where were you having Clarence take you all? Because you got in the car, but I didn't hear what your destination was. Or are you just sitting in front of the restaurant in your car?
No, we're driving around town.
Okay, just driving around the Barrens while you plan?
Not the Barrens.
Well, tourist.
He'd probably start driving to the safer parts of town so he doesn't have to pull out the big guns.
Okay. Yeah, Touristville is very safe, in my opinion, for the most part, which is where the meat was.
Okay. Yeah. So, before...
I just wanted to make sure you guys weren't sitting in the car in front of the restaurant.
Just like a few minutes later. Sir, you're gonna have to move.
It'd be the little hostess coming out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, all, but you got me to move a little bit, please.
Yeah. So, Vex very much just wants to go near the facility right away, but he's learned that not everyone is of his same philosophy.
Okay.
So he's gonna casually wait before he DNIs Clarence to start driving in that direction. He's gonna wait about another minute before he says that to him, just via DNI.
All right, I will let you guys know when you get off Grid Guide, because that'll be the important part when it starts to get dangerous. But until then, just continue in character with what you need to do, or plans, any questions or whatnot. Go for.
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Now, I do not recall.
Back, sorry.
This is Johnson giving a time limit. Yes?
I do not recall time limit either. I don't believe I see it in the dossier either.
Since you mentioned the dossier, it is in the dossier.
Oh.
She didn't mention it, and nobody asked, but it is clearly defined in the paperwork.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take a closer look over that dossier then. Is there anything that we can glean that we might not have asked in the meeting, past meeting time, once we deal with that?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to work with that is, if you want to ask me questions, there's no, surprise gotchas in there, but the time limit is 3 days that they want this accomplished by, because by then there should be a distribution set up by their competitors, so it needs to be completed within 3 days.
All right, so here's my thought. We take a day, stake the place out, find out what we can about who we can. Second day we hit. That way, when the third day comes with distribution, all the shit's already gone. They have no idea who did it.
That
That
sounds
also
like a
gives us a day in case we run into problems.
Yeah.
that sounds
A
like
cushion, if you will.
a workable timetable.
Yes, I have to agree. That is a very wise plan. You clearly are quite the brain there.
Well, you got to do what you have to sometimes.
That seems like a very loaded statement.
About this time, you guys are leaving Touristville. You're not off-grid guide. You're not in the dangerous areas. You're just leaving Touristville itself.
So we're not quite in the danger zone,
Danger zone!
You are not in the zone that comprises of danger yet.
but we are on the highway to it.
Yes, you could consider it a highway to hell.
What? So we're going to call it the Kenny Loggins zone, just as
Yes,
a...
that could work.
Okay.
The almost danger zone.
Kenny
The
Loggins
slight-
County.
The slightly unsafe zone.
I'm sorry for derailing that a bit.
Kenny Loggins containment, maybe? Yeah.
Okay.
Containment area.
I think that the Kenny Loggins containment zone is over in Chicago, though.
Now, if I were to astrally project right now, would I have a hard time finding my body because it is in a moving vehicle?
If it comes down to it, it's going to take you a little longer because you have to find the vehicle, but I'm not going to penalize you for it. It's just going to take time. Now, if you were trying to do that like in combat or something, it would be different, but it's just going to take you a little bit extra time.
Okay. And I am better than the average person at tracking due to my mentor spirit, so maybe be able to track my body. Nah. That's a bit of a stretch.
What I'm saying is, instead of instantly being back at your body, it might take you like 5 minutes to track down the car.
All right. So I am going to turn to Suede, Vex, Knight, and say, I believe scouting is an excellent thing to do. So I am going to scout the area on the Astral at the moment.
I do want to remind everybody that in the Barrens there is a standard background count of 1.
Swade's going to look at him and go, geek, seek.
Now, don't be so meek. He's making fun of your name.
I'm going
Do
to
something now. Speak.
I'm going to astrally project just so I don't have to listen to them anymore. I wasn't going to say much my body. At this point, I don't really care.
I'm going to give the party a 1 edge pool that any member can use at any time for the little name puns.
Yeah!
But it's 1 edge
Oh,
that any
boy,
party
the
member can
cheat on
claim for
everyone.
anything.
Fantastic.
Just want
Alright.
to say that if you can't find your body soon, though, you'll be up shit creek.
It might make you want to shriek.
Good thing I can't hear you right now.
Yeah, otherwise you'd freak.
Oh,
Man, we're on a streak.
Oh,
Yeah, it
man.
is a streak.
Okay. I'm going to fly over to where I believe the facility is.
You could almost say the accident was freak.
Geek's
that's-
outlook
that's-
is bleak.
There you go.
Look is bleak.
Everybody's getting in on it.
All right. So
We
I
need
wonder how the
Need to
how's
keep
the other runner
focused.
going. You know, the one
probably.
off the derailment train here.
Sorry
You're
about
gonna
that.
fly
this
over in
is almost
Astral.
as bad as a run by Teak.
I was going to say it. I decided not to, but
Teak, if you're listening, I love you.
So you fly over in Astral to the location.
Yes.
It's not
Taking,
that difficult to find.
yes. Taking the -1 due to background, I am going to attempt to ascend it.
Okie dokie.
There we go. What do my astral eyes see?
Your
Watcher
astral.
spirits. Many
There's a couple Watcher spirits on the place with different astral signatures on them. It looks to be like 2 or 3 Watcher spirits from different mages. You don't really see any awakened inside the facility itself. You see a couple guards patrolling Mundane, Cybered. Trying to think what else you could see easily without going in the building. There is a low-level mana barrier around the building. It looks to be very weak.
Okay. With 4 hits, what is the force?
It's a Force 1. It's mostly just like a notification barrier.
Okay. Okay. I will return to my return to my body.
Okay.
Oh, I just thought of something. I am astrally projecting. Would I perchance notice Knight in the car?
On your way back, yeah, you see everybody's aura.
I would have to mask then, probably.
Yep, you'd have to sense because
if you
it's
want to
players.
roll, and I'll counter with masking.
Right.
You might figure it out, yes.
I'll give you one sensing test, and then everybody who has masking or anything, you can roll your masking.
I actually have beacon. So
You're very bright.
Beacon is like +2, I think.
I'm basically saying this because pretty much Knight is the only one with something to hide, and this would give Geek a chance to essentially stumble upon the secret.
Yeah, go for it. Roll it, and I'll roll it.
I think masking actually doesn't it just reduce their dice pool against you, or am I thinking of flex?
No, it makes an
It's an
opposed
opposed
test.
pool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I rolled 4, or you rolled 4, so...
Alright, so
what I will let you see is that I'm awakened. That's it.
Alright.
You're masking. Are you giving off or just a regular awakened aura? Because I know you can raise or lower your apparent magic rating or appear as mundane. So are you just your general masking is just I'm just a mage?
I'm just giving off the fact that I'm a mystic adept. I'm not giving off anything else.
So you're not trying
But I
to
can't
hide. Like,
alter.
your
I can't
actual-
alter my signature. That's a separate.
That's
altering
flexible.
to make me
Yeah.
look like a different person. That's flexible. So all I can do is mask how much he sees, not what he sees.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what you see.
So he got like basically 1 success.
Um,
That's it.
okay.
So you can look at the table and extrapolate from there. Ask Knight the questions that are relevant, and go from there.
I'm sorry, what?
With the assessing table, if you have you said he had 1 net success, was it? I mean, it looks even to me, but where the
I gave him 1.
Oh, okay.
one
So
net,
you can
because-
know everything off the assessing table as if you have 1 success against Knight.
Pretty much the only information he's letting me know is that he's awakened, nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that he is currently, I don't know actually about that. So,
Actually, it would be a completely different persona, because otherwise that would be, oh, he's masking, and then you would just keep going at him. But anyway,
Anyway,
I'm not sure
so-
how to interpret it.
Well, the separate
unfortunately.
persona is specifically flexible signature.
Yes.
If you beat them and they're masking, then yeah, I mean he he's masking, but you'd have to delve deeper if you want to pursue that. But with a tie, it's basically I'm just going to say he's awakened because I think you actually specifically have to beat them to realize they're masking.
and even then,
Yes.
they might just show up as being mundane. Whatever.
Yes. That's
Anyway,
why I
either
asked
way.
him if he was showing up as mundane because you.
I go back to my body, to hear the wonderful sounds of things that rhyme with eek.
And there's a pillow under your head.
And there was a pillow under my head. Oh. I appreciate whoever put the pillow under my head. That does make things slightly more comfortable, though I cannot feel my body when I am away from it. But I do appreciate it. No.
I myself am a man of comfort.
I greatly appreciate it. Now, here is the information. They have a very low mana barrier. About a first grade mana barrier. Nothing too special. More of a warning system than anything else. They have 3 or 4 Watcher Spirits, I believe. However, they do have different astral signatures, so that it is more than one. So these people have more than one mage on their payroll, and several guards that mostly appear to be mundane. That is the information I gleaned from this excursion.
okay, good work.
Well, don't worry. We left your body right where it was.
Glad to hear that.
Okay, other things we need to figure out then. We need to figure out things about the chemist, who he is, possible ways to get at him, maybe get him out of the building. We need to figure out who's watching him, who he belongs to, and who we might be pissing off as a result.
Alright.
Well, yes, I do suppose that is good information. Or, now, stay with me on this one. What if we were to just do this silently, not have it come back to us, and not worry about who he's pissing off, because they shall be gone, and we shall be gone?
Not saying we can't do that, but it's always a good idea to know who might be looking for whoever took their shit.
Yes. I just don't like to dirty myself in the business of other people's affairs, if I can avoid it.
Knowledge is power, Mr. Beauregard.
No, you can just call me Vex. It's quite all right.
It's
My
about this
father
time
was
that,
Mr. Beauregard.
He's gonna give you a slight wink and a slight smile.
It's about this time that you're leaving Grid Guide, and so the road noticeably gets bumpier. But Clarence is going slow enough that he can drive safely.
He can get 3 hits.
Yes, he can get 3 hits.
All right, so we should try, at least from an out of character standpoint. I think it might be a good idea to try to find something overlooking the place because it's the Barrens. Most likely, it's either packed in close with other buildings that we might be able to peruse and take a squatting position up and watch it to see who goes in and out. If that's something you guys want to do, it's just an idea.
Yeah, no, that is a good idea. And I agree out of character with that. In character, Vex is just going to be very much a let's just push forward and go blindly into the night. So do keep that in mind when he gives suggestions.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys
So yeah,
think?
Vex,
Seems like a good idea. Do any of you have any talents for stealth?
What by talent in this context? Because I believe we are all men of many talents.
Well, my specific question would be, how loud do you sound when you don't want to?
I have sneaking, and then 1 rank in it with urban specialization, so I'd be rolling 7. Not too good at it, but I can do it.
Vex will say, I have made it my life, my career, to make my presence known.
Well, we could just have our resident what's the word I'm looking for? Resident entertainer here create a absorb all the attention, and then have the rest of us go in undetected by default.
Oh, we do have to figure out how you can do that first.
Well, piling on to that, this facility, is it merely a means of production, or is there some sort of customer relations area?
Scanning through the dossier.
It looks like it's a research facility, not a production facility. The area is not big enough to handle a large-scale production.
Okay. And do they have
I'm gonna
any
give that
place
to you
where-
with Crash Cart's knowledge of medical shit.
Okay. Does it appear like they have any sort of place where prospective investors or those who have already invested can go in and kind of do a tour without actually seeing what's going on?
I was thinking either that, or we could pretend to be whoever is the organizer, somebody in that chain.
Yeah.
It doesn't look. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. It might take a few intercepted matrix actions where they spoof the outgoing calls, but it might be an interesting way to do it.
It does not appear that this is a facility that hosts guests. It looks like it's more like a safe house. Like, imagine a meth lab out in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
I know it would. They did ask. She did almost ask that. We did this well. I do have an idea, but the thing is, I want to probably have us learn more about the facility before I proposed it. But this is a little bit out of character, just because Knight is not going to give much ideas to other people.
Okay.
What we could do is we have 2 mages and a decker, and the advantage to that is they don't need to be there to actually be there. And Knight is good at sneaking and breaking into things, and Suede is good at talking to people. So we have like Suede and Knight come up with some reason to go in there, and then you have the 2 mages and the decker essentially close sight, but they can support on Overwatch. They can either be in the Astral or in the Matrix. And because there'll only be 2 of us, that minimizes our footprint, which means that we still have the full support if something goes wrong, but we have less people we need to worry about. So I kind of disguise you. We get in there. We do it subtly. We just grab the guy because between the two of us, and we make our way out. And the one thing to consider though is that they did mention Japanese affiliations might not like trolls, so it's just why we'd want to get a better idea of the situation. But this is a plan I would been thinking about. If what we see pans out with what that is, that sounds like a cool plan.
I completely forgot about something, so I guess I'm gonna propose it now. I would like to launch a fly spy to get a physical flyby on this.
Okie dokie. Not a problem. It basically shows a rundown neighborhood. Pretty much the physical description I gave for the Astral as well. It's a small, not a tiny building, but like a 1 or 2 bedroom house size building. It's not a house itself, but it's about that size of a building. Looks like it used to be like a pawn shop or something. You do see a couple of guards like patrolling. At least one guy always at the front door and one guy at the back door. There's no garage or anything. There's several windows around the outside of the building.
Okay, what does the area around it look like? Is it mostly abandoned?
There's a couple apartment buildings. It does look mostly abandoned. Some really run-down buildings. A couple gangers here and there, kind of thing. Pretty average for like the Barrens area, just like a neighborhood that went to shit.
Okay. Well, that's information on the area.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
So are we almost there, Wisconsin?
Yeah, you guys are just about there. I'll say you're about 4 blocks out at this point if you didn't want to pull right up to it kind of deal.
Okay.
It might not be the best idea.
I mean,
Like I said,
Vex-
assumed competence. I
Vex,
figure at about 4 blocks away, you'll come with your course of action.
Vex will wonder why Clarence is stopping so far away, but Clarence knows better.
Well, you can get closer if you want.
Yeah.
It's
No.
more
I'd say
along
let's.
the lines that you're 4 blocks away. So if you don't want to proceed, let me know now.
Yeah, we'll slow down and kind of actually, we're what's the traffic like? Is it would it be odd for us to stop here? Is the question.
Yes.
Okay.
It's odd to have this nice of a car in the Varens in the first place. You are attracting some glances, but at the same time, they figure the people that are ballsy enough to take this sort of car out into the Barrens, because it is a nicer car, are the type that they don't really want to have any association with.
I don't know what you're talking about. This blends in perfectly well. It blends in just as well as his suit.
Actually, drop Suede off.
Okay. The car will pull over, and Suede will get out.
You want me to come with you?
How well can Knight blend in? Like, is this his area kind of thing?
It's up to Night. How well do you blend into the Barrens?
He looks grubby as hell.
All right,
Pretty well, probably.
let's go. Because I want to try to walk over to that area while staying out of sight of that and see if there's any location that we can use almost as a home base to oversee that area.
Okay, I'll get to you two in just a second. The 3 of you that are still in the vehicle, what do you want to do while this is happening? Any particular plan, or are you just waiting for them to come back?
How long has it been? Because Crash Cart's still going to be pretty involved in the Matrix thing if it hasn't been too long.
It's been long enough that your Matrix search is well done.
All right.
Because it was only like an hour, and to drive slowly enough through the Barrens that, you're not having problems. You can't take a direct route. You're, like, going several blocks out of your way to avoid, like, broken down cars and streets that just aren't passable on vehicle anymore.
All right.
Here.
I just wanted to give you guys a chance to act or say what you intended to do I mean, it doesn't have to be anything, but that way when I focus to them, and if you guys want to interject something, if it's relevant, then you can. But I wanted to give you the chance first.
Well,
Yeah. Vex will just kind of go ahead. Sorry.
now that we're closer to the facility, I'm going to have... What's the noise in this area like?
Standard noise for Baron is what, like 2?
I think
All
so.
right. I'll be running Signal Scrub then. I'm going to be doing Matrix Perception, not Search, where my agent is, to see what sort of weapons, security features would be nearby.
Nearby you, or are you going to try to do it nearby the building? Because the building's still about 4 blocks away, which is going to increase your noise. I think about 1 or 2 based on the distance, but I could be wrong.
I think it would be 1 at most,
Yeah.
which I can turn on my data jack and get rid of that noise.
Well, I assumed your data jack was on anyway, or the wireless functionality. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. So, looking to see what sort of things would be in there. 3 hits.
3 hits around there. Couple guards have cyber guns. There is a matrix uplink, like hardlined in the building, on a private grid. But you that's just what you can see. You haven't tried to mess with it yet. Other than that, standard for the area. There's a couple gangers around, most of them without smart guns, a few with, but they don't look affiliated, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now you said cyber guns. Do you mean like a gun implanted in their arm, or they have a gun?
I meant smart gun.
Smart gun. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would probably do the same. I'm gonna get my agent to help me out with this search, though.
Okie dokie.
Although maybe I should just have the agent do it.
It's always funny. People have their agent's a system, and then the agent rolls better. Every time, it does not fail.
Oh, definitely.
What the hell? I will still take it as the help, so that's gonna be... How many can I keep?
The cyber guns that you saw, by the way, they did have a scorpion image for their iconography.
Where is that?
Vex will kind of take this time to realize that this team seems to be in need of some form of management, as everyone has their points of view, and as a consequence, he's just going to patch himself into each person's little activities and help guide anyone who is around to take such guidance.
Okay. If anybody wants to take Vex's guidance, just play that out, and we'll let him throw his dice and see where it goes.
Yep.
I don't think I want Vex in my head right now, so I will pass.
Sounds like Vex is already in your head.
Let's see. Here's my Matrix Perception.
Boom.
8 successes. Okay, yeah, you see a lot around there. You do see the hard link, and it's a private grid. It looks like it connects out to a place in an upscale area. You kind of lose track of it as it leaves the Barrens, but it is a hardline connection. Looks like a point A to point B matrix connection kind of thing. You see the several scorpion symbols for smart guns. Various cyberware here and there. Not too awful much, aside from, like I said, the big thing is the smart guns that you see with the scorpion symbol, as well as the hard link.
Do I want to start messing with stuff or not? I'll wait for Sway and Knight to get back before I do too much.
Okay, so with that, we're going to switch back to them. You gentlemen have walked a couple of blocks, so I'm going to say if that's the direction you were headed, you were about 1 block away from the location at this point.
Yep, that's about where I wanted to be. I'm looking for an overlook of some point that we can watch this location.
There should be some. There's a couple apartment buildings, 4, 5, 6 stories tall, so you can get a pretty good overlook if that's what you're looking for.
Yep, that's what we're going for. Let's see if any of those apartment buildings are abandoned or can easily be broken into.
Give me 3 edge rolls.
3.
Because there are 3 buildings.
Works for me. I'll take
So
my...
we're just going to take it building at a time.
All right.
See how lucky you are on scoping out these buildings with your options.
Does it need successes or just rolls?
Successes.
Okay.
Doesn't count against your edge. It's just more like how lucky you are.
To see what's behind door number 1. Door number 2 and door number 3.
Okie dokie. The first one is a functioning apartment building, actually. There is a rooms for rent sign out front. It looks like there's a couple rooms for rent, as well as people living here. There is what looks to be a guard at the door. Not like threatening, more like, he's there to protect the people that are inside. A big old troll with a shotgun, we'll say that, yeah.
Okay.
The second building is abandoned. Looks to be like a druggie hangout kind of thing, like a lot of strung out BTLs and whatnot there. The riffraff that it's just an abandoned, rundown building.
Okay.
The third one you do not like. It does not feel right going up to it. You get the impression that you don't want to be here. Like before you even get to the door, because is Swade awakened or is he? Monday?
He is awakened.
Okay, that's what I thought. So both you at night, you get that. This I don't want to be at night specifically. You recognize kind of the thing. It feels like there's like an infected in this building or a den or something. Just like you don't want to be near this building.
Gotcha. Okay. Can I do a natural perception real quick?
Sure.
I don't actually have any sensing skills or anything like that, but I do have astral perception.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna
default.
So I'll just what is
Intuition based.
Yeah, intuition.
Oh, that's not good. Nah, we'll just ignore it. I'll go with my gut feeling on that. He's gonna look down the night like, Night, what do you think? I'm getting a bad feeling.
The third building is occupied. Somewhat familiar with what may be in there. We don't want to be in there. Your choice between the other two. I guess it's a matter of whether you would prefer it just being us two, or
I don't think
people
that
around.
second building is just going to be us either. But the likelihood of anybody actually remembering us is going to be slim.
Drugs can do that to a person.
Indeed. We'll go with building number 2.
Okie dokie. You go in building number 2. There's, like I said, it's an apartment building. There are some apartments that have the door closed, some that the doors are ripped off, some that it looks like, they've just rotted away. There's bullet holes around. There's blood stains. You hope it's blood. It's either blood or urine or something fouler. Not a nice place.
Can I give it a smell check?
Sure.
Yeah.
Good old snifferoo.
You
Is it blood?
get a there are some blood, but the particular one that you smelled, you get a big old whiff of orc piss.
Oh boy.
But there are some like dried blood pools and blood stains. It looks like people have been knifed or bad stuff. None fresh, none recent. And then you can hear people talking as they're going through their BTLs and whatnot, and some people that are strung out on various drugs. Just a good old-fashioned abandoned apartment building.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick perception on whichever apartment we decide to end up on.
Okay. This is a 5-story building, so how high up are you wanting to go? There is roof access.
What do you guys think? I'm going to DNI that question. He's gonna actually, you know what? Because we actually have a chat room, I'll type this shit out as a DNI.
I love the DNI types for Shadowrun. It's so fitting. It really is. Like, Shadowrun is the first system I've played over the net, and it functions very well that way.
This is a nice area.
Oh no! Ah! Go back! I accidentally clicked on it and clicked delete, and it sent me back pages.
Okay,
you
I'm
do
back.
know that you don't have illiterate computers. It's just Wade, right?
Yeah, no, actually, no. Swade doesn't have it. I had to redo
What?
him. Yeah, I got rid of it. I still play him as he's not too comfortable with it, but he doesn't have the negative.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry.
No, it's cool. I'm perfectly fine with that. Geek, you can't hear anybody?
Nah, Skype kicked me out for a second.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, is it good now? You back?
That's okay.
Like,
Yeah,
obviously
it's-
you're talking.
I honestly thought that was the DNI. I'm like, I can't hear anyone. Is anyone
Yeah,
still in
it's-
this chat room?
That's what I thought. So too, I'm like, that's a weird thing to respond with.
I
Yeah.
think it might be
5
best
floors
if we
of
go
manual
as high up as
separate
possible, get a bird's eye view, if you will. If need be, I'd have an alternate way we can get out of here. So,
Okay.
as long as you like flying, of course.
All right. Up we go.
Alrighty, so y'all are heading to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get up to the roof. Pretty shabby looking. There's air conditioning and ventilation units in various states of disrepair and functionality. It's a gravel roof. There's a good foot to 2 or 1.5 to 2 foot high lip around, and it's a flat topped building.
Okay. Does it look like we'd be easily seen?
If
Like
they're
if-
looking up, yeah, if you're standing like at the edge, but how often do people look up at the tops of apartment buildings? As you look around, there are other people on other buildings in the top of on the tops of the buildings here around. Some sitting up there smoking, having a beer. There's a couple having sex a couple buildings away. I mean, it's not exactly uncommon for people to come up to the top of an apartment building to get fresh air.
Okay.
So easily seen, probably. Stand out, probably not.
Okay. I'm gonna look
So
over.
we're fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over at night and say we could probably stay up here for about an hour, but past that we should probably head down to the 5th floor.
If need be, I could cloak us, but I agree.
All right, we're just gonna sit and stake out the place then.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see about every 30 minutes there's a guard that walks around the building. And so you're up there for an hour. So you see 2 guards come out and walk around the building. You can see the front of the building from here. And like I said, there's a guard sitting in the front, either smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer or something. He's got a gun handy that's obvious. On the roof, it is a flat top roofed building, and it looks like there is a large exhaust vent up top, larger than a building that of that size needs. It looks like an industrial exhaust vent. So it's rather large.
Okay.
Okay. Can I see any insignia on the guards? Anything like that?
Give me a perception test.
I do have eagle eye, if that's relevant.
If it gives you a bonus to it, add the bonus in.
Plus 1,
would
I'm
I
not
be
100%
and you
familiar
count.
with that
You have
bird.
a scope basically all the time
Yeah.
with the naked eye.
would I be able to add to his perception, do teamwork?
Certainly.
Okay. 'Cause
You
I
guys
got-
are poking out together, and if you guys accepted Vex as your leader, he's on the comms with. He can be like, well, why don't you check out that side over there or something, in his Vexy manner.
Yep. And since we're DNI, everybody would be able to see what we're looking at too. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, provided
so-
you have image links. If you don't have image links, then they can't see.
True.
Knight does not have image links.
Nope.
That was a purposeful
I-
decision.
I can still be helpful in the leading nature, but
Yes,
that's
you
if you 2 gentlemen agree to that. That's the big thing.
So do you accept Vex as your lord and savior?
Okay, so
How very
I
fitting
will
for the
add
day.
2 if you're assisting me. So far, I can keep everything. So far, I can keep 7 of these.
Okay, so leadership is just straight bonus dice per hits, right?
For this style, yes. It actually acts as a teamwork task. So
Okay, so your limit is increased by 2, and you can roll up to 7 more dice depending on your perception skill.
again, if you accept Vex.
I can't roll
Otherwise-
7. I can only roll. I can only roll 2. So
Okay.
take the first 2.
So, yeah, so that's what a total of 10 successes. And what's your? Can you keep all 10?
I could keep. Normally I have 6, but I have the enhanced vision, which is 2 more, and then I have team. I can keep 10. Yeah.
Okay, you keep all 10. You do see an insignia on them. It looks like it's kind of covered up, but you glance at it as he reaches in his coat for another cigarette. If anybody has gang knowledge and they want to roll that,
I do have
or
gang
any
knowledge.
kind of.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Any kind of knowledge skill you want to roll to identify this signal, you can roll and tell me what the knowledge skill is. But
Okay.
gang knowledge or underworld or criminal activities, anything that you can justify to me that this knowledge skill is applicable, and then I will apply modifiers as needed.
Would Shadow Community
Okay.
work?
That's gangs.
You can give
That's
it a shot.
Shadow Community.
Knowledge of trains to get us back on track.
Shadow
We're on track right
Community.
now.
Unfortunately, I'm too busy walking over to the apartment to care about what this guy's insignia is. I'm too busy complaining about the weather to care.
Didn't catch that. Are you actually walking over to the apartment where they're at, or was the car coming around?
No, I'm walking over there.
Okay. I'll let you know when you get there then. Okay, with 1, you're not really going to get anything. With Suede's 3, you are going to get, I assume that's knowledge gangs.
Yeah, just general gangs.
Okay. It is a small-time gang that is known to work for the Yakuza.
Oh, I'm gonna kind of rib Knight and motion down at the insignia. You see that?
Yeah. What is it?
That's Yakuza affiliated.
We'll call them the Scorpion Gang. They're known for the Cessna Black Scorpions they fight with.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
They use
So,
scorpions as weapons.
We'll have to be considerate of that. With all due respect, my friend, the Yakuza are not often too fond of your kind.
I'm used to it. Not many people are kind of my kind, so I'm used to it.
It's unfortunate.
Some of us are douchebags. As he blows a wad of smoke in your direction.
He's just gonna chuck a little bit and blink at that. It's a very relaxed way to deal with what he just told you.
Uh-huh.
A little bit rude.
Yeah, it's also a very appropriate way.
Mm-hmm. Very sweet.
For
Appropriate.
douchebags.
For douchebags, exactly.
So, sorry, that was my fault. I was actually lighting a smoke myself.
It's all right.
With the rest of your perception, you do notice there is a lot of trash piled up, more than normal. And some of it appears to be things like medical waste or chemical waste, things of that nature. Let's see what else. The giant fan on the top of the building does activate from time to time as a giant gust of not smoke, but some sort of fog-like substance gets released about once every 20 minutes or so. It looks like it might just be cleaning the air inside of the building, possibly.
But it's not running all the time?
Nope, it's not running all the time.
Fuck.
Well, let me take that back. It is slowly running all the time, but it's like about every 20 minutes it winds up, and it looks like it releases, kind of like if you've ever been in a laboratory and you have a fan to clean the air, it'll constantly be running. But if you need to clean all of the air at once, or just basically evacuate the air from the room, you can generally hit a button or do something to suck the air out.
Yeah,
quickly.
the chem hoods.
Yes, like a chem hood. That's exactly what I was trying to illustrate.
Gotcha. Well, Suede wouldn't know anything about that, but he is. He has his Schroeds with an eyepiece on, and it's just marking interesting things with gloves, AR gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So that way everybody else can see it. So we're just.
Okay.
He's just going through and marking things like that and putting small notations on it. So activates every so often, possible ventilation.
And then
If you are broadcasting this, Crash Car would probably be able to tell you right off the bat exactly what Wisconsin was just saying.
Okay.
Yes, very easily.
Excellent.
Who was walking up to the building? Was it Geek or Crash? I couldn't remember.
That was Geek.
Yes.
Geek was walking up to the building. I was debating, since I'm actually in my truck, following along this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually debating on driving over there and unloading some gear. What do you guys think?
Think it would be good.
Do you think that the first day might just turn planned day into go from day anyway?
It
So,
depends
or-
on how we're going.
Yeah, Swade might need to go back and pick up his Mossberg from his house anyway. And so, well, I mean, he
I
has
was
his
just
baseball
thinking
bat
we could
just in
probably
case.
squat in this abandoned building for the next day or so anyway, so we might set up some kind of command post.
Yep, small stuff, maybe satellite link, food, things like that.
This is not the
My
kind of place
drones.
This is not the kind of place I would like to spend the night, but if we must, then I shall. I would say I'm not getting paid enough to live in a place like this for a couple days, but that is a lie.
And that's
Yeah,
true.
Crash is also probably going to have some issues with the accoutrements, but
So he's
Well,
going to
we
drop
don't
his pants
necessarily
and
need
piss in
every-
one of the closets.
We don't necessarily need everyone to stick around.
About this time, Geek, you have gotten to the building. I assume you're proceeding up to the roof?
Mhm.
Okay.
Up to where my comrades in arms told me to go.
Okie dokie. And Vex, we haven't heard from you for a bit. Are you just in the car monitoring, or is there something you specifically wanted to do?
Yeah, no, Vex, seeing that everyone else seems to have their world kind of in hand, he's going to just continue to allow them to do as they please
Okie
and
dokie.
provide himself as support, as he and Clarence just kind of pass the time of way in comfort and luxury.
Okay, do you want to just stay stopped, or do you want to have Clarence, like, kind of driving around just in the area kind of thing?
I'll drive around in the area,
Okay.
so as to only draw mild to moderate attention rather than high attention.
Okie dokie. And Crash Cart, are you going to follow them around in the area? I know you were independently debating if you wanted to go drop off some equipment or whatnot.
yeah, I think I'm going to drive over to the building and park.
There is a parking lot behind the building, by the way, that you saw what you guys saw on with your perception check. Sorry if I didn't state that.
Yeah, I'm going to park and what do you guys think? Are we going to be hanging around here for a while, or should I not unload some gear?
The way that Swade looking at it, we're probably going to be staking this place out for about a day, just to see if there's any surprises.
All right, then.
But I mean, that could change at any point if everybody wants to change it.
Yeah, so are you guys describing the fact that you guys want to just stay out here for more than just part of a day?
I assumed all of that was in character talk, so I would say
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Okay,
How far
go ahead.
away are we from downtown by car?
Probably considering the Barrens. I mean, you're not like too far away, but considering the Barrens, it would probably take you about 2 to 3 hours to get out here. Just because of the
Yeah.
Barrens roads and everything. I mean, Touristville isn't that far from downtown. It's like 40 minutes, you know?
Okay, it's just because Knight, for example, he's not too keen on being close proximity to other people for kind of obvious reasons.
There are sewer access here, by the way, Knight. I assume that's something your character would keep an eye out for, so it's not like
He
cut
would.
off from the main sewers.
Like a bolt hole, essentially. He'd be looking at. He's kind of, for example, when Swade's pissing off the building, he's kind of looking at him, and he's looking at him a little bit funny because he's not because of what he's doing, but because he's not able to do that anymore himself. He doesn't piss. He doesn't eat. Not normally, at least. So
He
him being
pisses
around other
blood and sadness.
So him being around other people, one, that kind of unnerves him a little bit, and two, people will catch on if you don't take food after 2 days. So I know in his case it's going to be, well, I suppose we can have some people stay here, watch the building. I know that I myself have some other side projects that I do need to keep maintained.
Well, I mean, if you're a busy man, I don't see why we would continue to waste our time just sitting around waiting for the grass to grow here. What exactly is it that we are looking to obtain here?
Information. The more we know about the place before we storm in, the better.
Yes, we could do that. Now, again, hear me out. We're just here to collect information and then a person, if we're able to, correct?
As far as I know.
Now, my time is rather valuable. I value it quite highly. Much more than I apparently would value this other person who is holding me back. This man is a small amount of money when you consider the amount of time that we're spending into assuring that this man is alive. Does anyone here particularly care to see this man come out of this safely?
Crash Cart's gonna be like, I don't want to kill anybody if I don't have to, but in this case, I am looking for information more to keep myself alive than this guy we're supposed to be dealing with.
If there's a Simpsons, you'll show that Suede is tapping the side of his nose and pointing at him.
I
Well-
know that the employers hire us in order to ensure that we can get the job